You're watching a special edition on the French presidential election. I'm now joined by press reviewer Elena Casas. Hello, Elena. So what's on the front pages then this morning?
Good morning again, Claire. Well, a predictable duel, but also a rather large surprise on the front page of Le Parisien today. You've got a very similar-looking Hollande and Sarkozy, and they're extremely similar scores, just a point and a half apart. But it's, of course, Marine Le Pen's really front-page news this morning. She isn't actually on the front page of La Croix. They've gone for the face-to-face of the second round on theirs with François Hollande and Nicolas Sarkozy there. But their editorial here is all about her, and it's about how neither of these two major candidates have really closed the deal with French voters. If we can take one lesson from yesterday, they say it's just the amount of French voters that feel disillusioned with the system in general. They feel they're worried perhaps about unemployment, about the economy, about their own spending power, getting to the end of the month, and they feel that neither of the two main candidates has offered them really any proper solutions. So they've gone for the outside of the system vote, the protest vote, if you like. That's what's been really important. Over at Libération, they're a little more optimistic, if you like, for François Hollande. He looks rather more triumphant on their front page than on the others, and they've got Hollande leading as a headline, but they also have Le Pen ruining the party in equally big letters. And in the inside, they've got some interesting analysis as to why exactly she's managed to do that. They speak to a sociologist who studied the Front National, and they say that effectively she's done two major things. She's changed the rhetoric of the party really quite a lot. She's moved away from the anti-Semitism, even, if you like, of her father, and basing their discourse entirely on immigration and security. She's taken up an economic themes a great deal, borrowing a lot of the language of the left, of course, to talk about trying to bring outsourced jobs back to France, ending economic liberalism, which has, of course, been the scapegoat of this campaign for a lot of the candidates. They're trying to return to the more traditional French model, very anti-globalisation rhetoric we've heard throughout, but especially from her, that she also, of course, has completely changed the party's image. She's made it appeal to younger voters, perhaps people who feel less of a stigma in voting for the Front National because they don't remember what that meant 10 or 20 years ago. She did extremely well, of course, among under 25s, who were both the hardest hit by the economic crisis and those who are perhaps least likely to feel that the Front National is somehow a party apart from the others. And, of course, she's managed to make it look much more approachable, much fresher.
And now Nicolas Sarkozy is going to try and, I imagine, to win over those voters, those 1 in 5 French voters who were in favour of Marine Le Pen. How's he going to go about doing that then?
Well, no one in the UMP or no one supporting Nicolas Sarkozy is going to explicitly say they're chasing after those voters because officially the Front National is still taboo. But in Le Figaro, the right-wing paper that backs him all of the way, the headline this morning is the success of Marine Le Pen restarts the second round. And in their editorial, they effectively call on their candidate to do exactly that. They say that he needs to listen to what those 20% of voters are saying, and he needs to starting to address their concerns. But by doing that, can he actually still win? Well, Le Parisien asks that in their paper. They're asking if Marine Le Pen's 20% actually will vote for Sarkozy. Is this an election when we can mathematically add up the votes on the right and the votes on the left and thus conclude what's going to happen in the second round? Or is it a referendum on the outgoing president? Is it that a lot of those Front National voters, perhaps as many as 40%, will either not vote at all or even vote for François Hollande because in voting for Marine Le Pen, the one thing they most wanted to express was their disgust, their disappointment in the outgoing president, so they won't under any circumstances vote for him. There's an interesting article about this on the website Rue 89, which says here are the people who voted for Marine Le Pen in the first round and will then vote for Hollande in the second round, which seems sort of intellectually impossible that one could do that. But they suggest two reasons why you might. On the one hand, people who were attracted by the anti-liberalist economic discourse of Marine Le Pen and so want to vote for Hollande because he's more anti-globalisation than Sarkozy on economic issues. And on the other hand, those who are deliberately, strategically, if you like, trying to bring down Nicolas Sarkozy and the UMP. A lot of papers today saying that what Marine Le Pen wants is to be the head of a right-wing opposition to President Hollande in the long run. Her partner and number 2 of the party, Louis Alliot, says that exactly to Le Parisien, that the whole right wing of French politics is being reconstructed now. And after the election, the UMP may well disappear completely. It was created of a coalition of fairly disparate right-wing groups, which could now collapse and leave the Front National as the leading right-wing party in France, he says.
OK, thank you very much, Elena, for running us through the front pages of the French press.